This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Necessarily the case. There could actually be a case for screaming, and that's the conversation that we're having. It's Healthy Friday, and joining us in the studio this morning, Marianne Anyango is a behavioral health innovation lead with Thalio Psychotherapy. Good morning, Marianne.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am well. I don't want to scream now. I wanted to scream earlier, and I might want to scream later. But clearly, we're going to talk about that, aren't we?
Okay, nice.
All right. Rachel Karitha is the CEO of Kenya Counseling and Psychological Association. She's here with us as well this morning. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning to you.
How are you?
I'm good.
Don't want to scream? Not now?
Not for now.
Not for now? Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll get there in just a minute. And so I've been talking about screaming all morning, and folks are wondering, okay, so what are they on about this morning? Dealing with trauma through scream therapy. Who would have thunk it that there was something like that? We'll get into that in just a little bit. Dennis is going to welcome you to today's show. We'd like to get your interpretation of today's proverb. He'll tell you where it's from.
Yeah, we're from Seychelles today. It's a beautiful country, an island, so beautiful beaches, coming second after Diani. Diani was voted the best beach destination in the world.
Okay.
Just saying, So they also deal with fishing, and tuna fish is what helps propel the country's economy.
Okay.
And as we talk about screaming as a therapy, so they have a proverb about noise. And theirs goes like this. The noise of the sea does not stop the fish from sleeping. The noise of the sea does not stop the fish from sleeping. So you will scream all you want, but the fish will still sleep. How would you interpret that?
I'd interpret it as, yes, there might be noise, yes, but it will not stop the fish from, yes. When we talk about scream therapy, let me use layman's language so that everyone can actually just understand. Because when we normally use the word therapy, someone might think that it's something big and ambiguous. It's just a tool, a technique where an individual can actually decide to use scream to release built up maybe emotions or stress or mostly even anger. So you can use scream to do that, but it doesn't mean that actually that will help you in whatever distress that you're going through.
I'll just hold you on to that.
Yes.
How would you interpret our proverb?
I would say like what she's saying, that sometimes you find yourself in a situation, you find yourself in a situation, you just feel like, I need to scream. I need to release something. And when we talk of scream therapy,
We would like you actually to interpret the proverb that he shared.
The noise of the sea does not stop the fish from sleeping.
the noise of the sea does not stop the fish from sleeping. I would interpret it in this way. Whatever is going on in somebody else's life may not affect you in one way or another. That's how I'd interpret it. And that's why we are saying, even if there is a lot of noise happening there, the fish will continue doing whatever it's supposed to do. So even in our situation, sometimes you could be going through turmoil, but that will not cause Rachel from not doing what she's supposed to do. Because if you don't tell me what you are going through, I may not know.
May not be bothered.
I may not be bothered. Yeah.
Indeed. Okay. So we're stepping on the gas. This scream therapy thing. Let's start first of all with what scream therapy is. Let's start with you.
Yes, so scream therapy is a technique where an individual gets into a guided room. It's a guided environment where you use 12 seconds. It's actually the fastest therapy in the world. You only use 12 seconds where you scream, but then when you scream, you kind of like release, and somehow you get a recharge because we have some nerve systems that maybe might be having some, like maybe, when you have emotional turmoil or maybe even physical pain, it interferes with your nerves systems. So when you scream, it's actually like a release. You release that stuck up energy. Yes. So in a nutshell, I'll say scream therapy is like a shortest therapy in the world. 12 seconds, you get into a room. It is guided.
What is a guided room?
Guided room. So it's a room where it is soundproof, one. So maybe when you get into that room, people outside won't hear you like screaming. Let's say somebody has gotten into this studio and then I scream. People outside won't hear my scream. Then we have 1 to 4 steps where you can be guided on what to do. You can either stand, you can either like bend, whatever is comfortable with you. They will just guide you depending on how you feel in the moment. So you use that, then you scream.
And people can't see you.
People can't see you.
Because they could actually think you're crazy.
It is private environment and it's safe.
All right.
And it's soundproof.
Okay.
Yes.
Who uses scream therapy, Rachel?
Scream therapy can be used by anyone, but we have a limitation to that. People like, it's not for everyone actually, because if you have, if you have too much stress or you've gone through too much trauma, you may not use scream therapy because you might re-trigger trauma again. Again, if you are too aggressive, you may not use scream therapy.
What is too aggressive?
Too aggressive is like you're not stable emotionally. There is too much that is happening. So if you're too aggressive, if there are a lot of emotions that are happening within you, you may not use scream therapy. It may not be so safe for you. Again, you cannot just use it alone. You need to be guided. And like what she's saying, you need to be in a very safe environment. And maybe I needed to mention, you can create that safe environment through being guided by maybe a counselor or a therapist, whereby once they establish the place is safe, you can even use a pillow. You scream, but you're screaming when you've put a pillow.
Suffocating yourself.
Yeah, so that it is very safe. Until the mind feels it's safe, you may not use scream therapy.
So I'm following up on this, and here's a situation where I have a problem, right? I need to not
Scream.
vent.
Sorry.
Okay, that will come later after being guided, right? But now here's a situation where I've come to you, Marian, now, and I'm Dennis. These are my issues. We start having this discussion. At what point does it get to, I think, let me take you to this room, scream your heart out, and you'll be healed. Come thy to me, and you shall be healed.
Wow.
I'd say there's not like a specific time that maybe I'll decide that. It only actually depends on how the session goes. Maybe you've come to therapy, we are in the session, and then most of the time you might find that maybe in the situation that you're in, you might not have the words to express maybe how you're feeling inside. It could be maybe a traumatic experience that you've gone through, or maybe even loss and grief. So those are the most distresses that causes someone might feel to actually, they want to let out, but they don't know. They want to express, but they don't know. So that's where I'd come in and offer that solution. Like, do you actually feel like, how do you feel? Do you feel like screaming? We use now the emotions, not really maybe, we use that.
Okay, so what emotion would then equate? So for example, if I have a headache,
yes,
and I go to the doctor, they're going to ask me certain questions. They will tell me, they will ask me, where do you feel the headache? Because they already know that if you feel the headache in a particular part, this is what it could point to. So then do we need to take you for a CT scan, or do we need to give you a painkiller? So they know that based on what I have told them.
Yeah.
So in this instance, I know that we cannot equate the psychological to the physiological, but there must be some similar lines. How do you know that when I've sat and had a conversation with you, if I'm crying, if I'm angry, how do you know then, okay, you know what, Ndu could do with some 12 good seconds of a bang out scream here and she's going to go away feeling better?
That's a really good question. When actually we talk about traumatic experiences, so trauma doesn't happen just in our minds. So trauma affects a nervous system in our body, and it comes out physically. So how we can see these traumatic symptoms physically, you might have actually like your shoulders are being tensed. You might have your breathing won't be normal. You might have like heavy breathing. Sometimes you might have like stomach knots, whether you've had where someone say they had like maybe an information and they felt like, oh, tumbo yangu inakatika.
Butterflies in your stomach, those things.
Yes. So those are the physical symptoms of trauma. So most of the time when you get clients and they're sharing their information, definitely you'll know this is a trauma they're experiencing, or maybe it is loss and grief. So definitely you just know with trauma, it's being stored in the body. It's not just in our mind, because
you store trauma in your body?
Yes, trauma is being stored in our body. And how you can see that is through those now physical symptoms.
Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to break this thing down so that we can understand what we are talking about.
Yes.
You know the way you eat 10 burgers and then the fat is stored on your hips? And the stomach?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that if you go through a traumatic experience, if maybe you were attacked or a death or something, that you keep where?
Yes.
In your shoulders?
In your body. It could be in your shoulders, it could be in
then
your
always
stomach,
tense,
always tense. Then apart from the physical symptoms, we also have the emotional ones. So that's when maybe it could be like a traumatic experience, like an accident. So you get anxious anytime, like maybe the car is going too fast, because, it's not even in your body, like in your mind. It comes out as anxiety. And sometimes physical pain. You might have we normally have somatic diseases. So
Conditions.
yes. Do you want to explain that somatic diseases for us?
In English, yes.
Yes.
All right, actually, maybe we would have started by explaining what is trauma so that we understand where we are coming from. We are saying trauma is any emotional or psychological response to a disturbing experience. So it is how our body responds to a stressing situation.
So your reaction is the trauma?
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Okay.
And this is where she's saying it can lead to maybe depression as a way of responding to that. It can lead to stress. It can lead to anger. It can lead to even physical illness. And that is where she's talking of somatic conditions. I don't know whether you've ever had people going to the hospital and you are taken through all the tests and the doctor says, I don't see what is causing problems. Maybe you go and see a counselor. I remember one time I had such a client. The doctors thought, actually, the parents thought the girl had a stroke because she was paralyzed on one side. Only to realize it was stress. She was responding to stress of exams in that way. So all her one side was paralyzed. And we only needed to do mindfulness exercises, and that was it. Yeah, so trauma is the way we respond to distressful situations. And you might end up having what we are calling somatic conditions. You have a pain somewhere, but it is not physical illness. It is just a way of your body telling you that stress is too much.
So how do you figure it out?
Most of the
I
time,
know someone, I think she must be in trauma because they're like we say frowning all the time. It's like there's something always wrong, and until she doesn't realize that she's frowned or she looks like she's got a pinched nerve all the time. Could that be something like that?
Yes, it could be something like that. It could be like maybe, you're always getting angry, and it's not like maybe something big is happening. It could be even like maybe somebody has stepped on you or someone has taken maybe your pen, then you just lose it, angry all the time. And for some people, it could be like you're anxious all the time. Maybe it could be an experience that happened when you were little, but then now growing up, maybe for example, maybe it was like a sexual assault. So anytime you're around gentlemen, or maybe you and gentlemen, you are always anxious. That is how you can actually tell. So either you're anxious, either you're angry, either maybe sometimes you have like stomach upsets or a headache that is not going. Yeah, sometimes it comes up as that. And the major one that we all know is depression. Yeah, where like maybe your mood is too low, you can't do the things that you normally used to do, the normal things. You're not interested in a lot. Maybe at sometimes you can't even work. The amount of work that maybe you're doing, it's becoming too much, and maybe it's something that you used to do really well and, in a happy mood, but it changes.
You see, I was just reading through scream therapy, and there's something that popped up. You see, once someone has experienced, say, loss in family, there is always that aspect of, if you see them break down, just let them. Just let them to let go of whatever it is they're feeling.
Yeah.
And you extrapolate that now to, I'll use my community, because, if you go to Migori County, whenever there is a death, people wail, and they wail proper,
Yes.
And just reading around it, it stems up from the aspect of, it is a way of coping with problems that people have. Many have thought that wale noto kupiganga nduru too, but it is something that is even in the books.
Yes.
So at any given point when we see someone screaming or someone is wailing, how do I respond to that is the question. Do I tell them, shut up? Hapa si mahali pa kupiga kelele? Or do I bring them to you because I'm like, this one is always screaming? How do I go about it?
No. For that particular time, what you can do is just being there for them. The way we say, even silence is a skill. And you can also use touch. The way you just tap someone, telling them, I'm there for you. But you cannot tell them, shut up. Because again, they are screaming because of the emotions that have been bottled up. And that pain, maybe the only way you know how to relieve that pain is through screaming. And sure enough, we know that when you scream, sometimes the endorphins, the neurotransmitters that relieve us of pain, they are released in your body. And that's why we say, if screaming works for you, do it more. Whatever works for you, do it more. So what you need to do, if you are the person who is giving support, just let that person scream. And then after time, maybe sometime you can ask them what is going on. But at that particular time, you should not tell them, shut up. Yeah.
It's temporary though, isn't it?
Yeah.
The relief that you get from scream therapy is temporary, I imagine, that you're doing this for 12 seconds.
Yeah.
And so you feel better in the moment. So are we saying essentially that scream therapy does not help you solve your problem?
Yes, it's actually a complementary or like an adaptive coping mechanism. Adaptive means a good coping mechanism. It's just a tool so that you can actually release that high energy that you have or built up energy. Then it's the first step for you to actually, now when you are recharged and you feel lighter, you can now maybe be able to express what is it that is going on and actually find help. It's just probably the first step that one's take, but you will definitely feel lighter, relieved, and somewhat recharged. Have you ever maybe even seen in the movies where people scream, then immediately after they've screamed, they start laughing? Yeah. So what she was talking about, the endorphins, it's just some hormones that we have in our body, and these are good feel hormones. So when you scream, it activates that part of the nerve in the body. So it releases that good feel hormone. So you will actually feel good. You might actually laugh after you're done with that 12-second scream.
Okay.
Yes.
So then how do you then go further to look at the root cause of the issue for which my traumatic response has been? How then do you say, okay, well, you're feeling a certain kind of way, you're feeling angry and or whatever the case may be. And so let's, go on and have a good scream. You're done. Let's come back. Is that the gateway to you then having a conversation about what the problem is.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the gateway. That is actually probably like the first step for you to find help, you know. If somebody has come into the guided environment, you know, maybe a psychologist is there, they are helping you out in that 12 seconds. After you're done, maybe we will go through maybe your emotions. How are you feeling? If you are in a good place, we can actually talk about, so what actually is the problem? So if you are in that good space where you can actually share what is happening, that would be actually good. If not yet, you can actually take some time, you know, to think about it. But the good thing is, at least you'll feel a release of something. But it's actually the first step for you to get help. Because scream therapy doesn't actually... like Haitoi therapy, it's just like a tool for you to release energy in the moment. Yes. Then after that, you have to actually find help.
You see, most of the
Yes.
time, whenever we find ourselves in such situations, and studies have confirmed that it's difficult for people to speak, especially around men.
Yeah.
Women, you speak to each other, it's easy to deal with such, but you find that notwithstanding, for someone to come tell you, you know, I'm going through A, B, C, D, it's really difficult. You have to like dig it out of them.
Yeah.
So here's a question where I'm going through something, but I don't know how to go about it. What would be screaming for 12 seconds fine will work, but then how do I note that this is a problem I need to see now a specialist?
Okay, you see, trauma, when one is experiencing trauma, they need to express, not to be silent. And like you are saying, actually in our work as psychologists and counselors, we have seen men don't speak up. Actually, you might even be telling them literally that you have a problem, that you need to see a therapist, but they will tell you, I'm okay. So what we normally do is creating a lot of awareness, because you could also be going through trauma and you are not even aware. Like maybe what she said, you passed through trauma when you are a child. You have childhood trauma, but it is manifesting in your adulthood. For example, you could be trying to get into relationships, and every time you feel you don't trust anyone. And when you trace it back, you'll find maybe when you are a child, you are neglected. So you developed mistrust. So even in adulthood, you never trust anyone. So it's until we create a lot of awareness so that people will know, oh, so when I'm doing this is trauma. I need to seek therapy. And then we stop stigmatization. Because I can imagine if I tell you that maybe I've been in therapy, you look at me like,
Are you crazy?
are you mad?
Yes.
Are you psychotic? No, actually I tell people, even myself as a psychologist, I've been in therapy many times because I cannot go helping people when myself, my emotions are not regulated. So I need to regulate my emotions so that I can be able to help others. So yeah, I would like to encourage everyone. Actually, everyone can go for therapy.
Let's take a break at this point. We're going to come back because scream therapy is just one of the therapies that you can use to let it out. And we're also hearing from our comments here, and people are saying, you know what, the pressures that you have are really quite something, and you need an outlet. And, you know, we're going into then why therapy is different kinds of therapy. And so let's go beyond scream therapy as well and find out what's some of these others that we put folks through. Healthy Friday conversation is then around trauma and how different kinds of therapy, scream therapy, helps you get through that. Mariana Nyango is here with us, as well as Rachel Kiarida. We're having that conversation. We'll be back after this. It's now 23 minutes to 10.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Are you a passionate farmer, ready to grow smarter, earn more, and secure your future?
Join us for the Horticulture Farmers Training and Exhibition at Calro HRI Thika on the 28th and 29th of August from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come learn modern innovative agricultural techniques, master crop protection and gain hands-on training in post-harvest handling and value addition. Plus, discover how to maximize profits from poultry venture, a bonus session for you. And the best part, entry is absolutely free. For sponsorship, contact Caroline on 0723-803-601 or email sinyandieka@standardmedia.co.ke. Farm Kenya, working to secure your growth.
Nilikuwa nalisha kuku zinakufa.
Sikuwa najua kunyoa ile vizuri.
Every day I could wake up in the morning, I go around, do marketing.
We follow the dreamers, the hustlers, the game changers.
Nikapika mapicha nikiweka TikTok hizo, watu wakaanza kufurahia. So they was asking where I am.
Bila hii huwezi jua saizi ya customer anataka kiatu gani na anataka design gani.
So na nilikuwa nimeona the njia ya kutoa njaa nikuje nianze ukulima.
I never knew a man from extended family can come and expand.
From the ground up to greatness.
Advantage of being a mechanic, you don't look for mteja. Mteja ndiye anakutafuta.
Watch the entrepreneur and witness the rise of Kenya's next business moguls.
So this was the final product tunatengeneza hapa.
I need to start my own. Nikachora plan yangu. Ndio hiyo saizi niko baba kwenye student fair.
Tune in every Friday at 7:30 p.m. only on KTN.
Lines, traffic, hustle. Say goodbye to all that.
Welcome to Shop.Digga, Kenya's smartest online store where convenience meets unbeatable deals.
From the latest electronics, trendy fashion, kitchenware, and more, all delivered anywhere in Kenya in just 48 hours.
Catch us every Saturday from 6:30 p.m. for convenient shopping, exclusive discounts, hot deals, and smart shopping tips.
So why wait? Visit shop.digga.co.ke and start shopping the smart way.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Kiaritha are here with us this morning, and we're looking at some of these issues and ways in which to deal with it. How do you know? Because we talk about the fact that so many people go to therapy. How do you know? Me sitting in my house at some point, and I know, okay, if I were to think about it, maybe I get upset, maybe I'm anxious, how do I know that it is at that point that I ought to seek help? Because we already know that a lot of times when people go in for any kind of psychological intervention, they are recommended by other people. Mm-hmm. Somebody else comes into your space and says, maybe you need to talk to somebody. Yeah. How do I know for myself that, okay, it's about time that I had a chat with somebody and then look for these interventions?
Okay. Let's use the easier ones. When you're not performing either at work or at school. Either you feel difficulty going to work or school. You cannot, if you're talking about school, you're not doing assignments, like things are not just working. And at work, same. Maybe even at work, people normally have assignments that they need to do. So the task that you've been given, like you're not doing. So that's when you know there's actually a problem. That is one. And when it comes to your interests, you're not interested now in the things that you normally used to do. It could be either maybe running, jogging, eating, even the eating. Now you're not interested in that. That means that something has changed. And another one is sometimes even these things comes in form of silence. You just find yourself like you don't have words. Like everything is blank. And when it comes to your emotional part, there is some numbness. Like it's just blank, like black. You don't have anything to say. You're not feeling anything. Like you're just blank. Yeah, it could be those. Do you have any others to add?
Yeah, I would also like to add on the sleeping patterns. Sometimes you sleep too much, or other times you're not sleeping at all. You're having insomnia. and even the eating patterns. Maybe you have all of a sudden started eating a lot, or you're not even eating.
Yeah.
Something else, things you once enjoyed, you're no longer enjoying them. Like you feel you don't want to go to work, you don't want to do anything, you just want to be there. Or even the usual activities, bathing, brushing your teeth, the usual activities that we do on daily basis. All of a sudden you start feeling like, I don't want to go to bathe, I don't want to brush my teeth, I don't want to comb my hair, I just want to sit there. Like you're just there. So that is the time you need to seek help. And by the time now you feel you have pains, it means now it is severe. If it is depression and you have started having the somatic pains, like you're getting headaches, you are getting stomach aches, now it means the condition is severe. And that one may not just need therapy, you'll also need medication.
Most of the time we hear people speak in terms of, I admit I love sleeping. It's just after a hard day at work, I just need to go rest. But if someone has been at work throughout the day, they get home, they carry work at home. When it gets to sleeping, they sleep 2 hours, and they say it's okay. I suffer from insomnia. That's my problem. Is that an indicator that perhaps there's an underlying problem that needs to be addressed? Because most of the time we just dismiss it saying, ule anakuanga na shida ya kulala. But could that be a trigger or a sign that there is a problem underlying?
Yes, that could be a trigger and a sign that shows that actually there could be an underlying issue. At the forehand, we might think that maybe this person is a workaholic, that is what we might say, I'm a workaholic, I enjoy working. Or maybe it could be like, I am in a situation where I have to do this, like this is what I have to do, either to gain money or to keep the employment and all that. That could be actually maybe one of the underlying things. But yes, it is a sign, And another thing, it can also be a sign that maybe you as a person, you are not able to actually maybe, how will I put it? Normally, for example, you have worked here from morning to evening. You will feel tired, both physically, sometimes even emotionally, if it was too much task, So when you get home, you won't want to like read something or do anything. Automatically, you'll feel like, I want to go to sleep. So if this person maybe is going through something else, they want to be able to actually shut down. Let me categorize it and talk about men, to be specific here. So sometimes because of the environment or the social norms that we have, maybe let's say in Kenya, there is a way like maybe men are not able to, maybe they're afraid or they're not able to express the emotions or sometimes even feel the emotions. So this person is going through something. They've gone back home after work. And now when getting back home, those emotions, maybe whatever they're going through, it's coming up. The only way they can deal with it is by actually doing something to avoid feeling those emotions. So if I keep busy, I want to be able to feel those emotions that actually I cannot be, I don't know what they are. I don't know these things. I didn't grow up feeling this way. So I'll do things to avoid that emotion. Yes.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that that you're having the experience.
Yes.
Because you don't want to feel a certain kind of way. But is that not more erosive? It still is an issue.
Yes.
Because then how would you play out? You're not dealing with the issue. You're not dealing with the emotion that comes out as a result of the issue. But it's still eating away at you.
It is. It is still there. It doesn't take away. It's just like a short-term way of dealing with problems. Because I'm saying it's a short-term way because the more you continue with that routine, it will caught up with you. Either physical ways, maybe you will start having like intense headaches, either emotional ways. It will just caught up with you. So it's just like a short-term way of dealing with that issue that you have. Yeah, which is not sustainable.
So a lot of people don't want to get into the uncomfortable situation of dealing head to head with an issue.
Yes.
If it's maybe somebody who's caused that pain to you, or if it is you think about it, for the longest time, I didn't want to deal with the fact that my father died. I don't want to. Okay, fine. We had the funeral, but don't talk to me about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to have the discussion. I don't want to remember the good times. I don't want to, because it's going to make me upset. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's understandable. But because in that moment it's uncomfortable, you don't, because then you have to come in touch with all of that you feel.
Yes.
But when you do, there is a certain release that you get from that, and then you can actually start. And I don't really like the word closure, because you can't close on something.
Yes. Yeah.
You shouldn't have to. Don't ask me to close on a relationship with my father, for example.
Yeah.
But you can now come to grips with a reality.
Yeah.
So could it be that the thing that you run away from is those few moments when you have to be in touch with that reality that is uncomfortable? Not that you don't want to feel it, but you don't want to be uncomfortable any more than you already are. So how can you cross over to that place? I mean, it took me years, but how can you cross over to that place whereby you're saying, okay, fine, let's deal with the elephant in the room. Let's go. Because it eats at you otherwise. How do you get to that spot?
What you need to do with a lot of support is, like you're saying, you don't want to close. Because
you shouldn't have to. Why should you have to close?
Your father is always your father.
Yes. Yeah.
But again, now he has died. He has passed on. How do I live? How do I adjust? Actually, the issue is, how do I adjust and cope and start accepting that my father will no longer be here, but I have to live without him? So that is where we encourage you come for therapy, so that we can explore. Remember, in therapy, I'm not the one to give you the solutions, because I may give you solutions that are not going to last. You only come, we explore with you, so that we can find ways of adjusting to living without your loved one. And that is the only way we can do it. Accepting. The issue is accepting that this has happened. Because most people will use what we call defense mechanism. Like, for example, when you hear, especially on loss and grief, you go in denial. You live in denial. Denial is good for that particular moment. It will help you to move from point A to B, but that is not the solution. You'll still have to come to the end of it all, accepting that this has happened and there are things we are not in control. And life and death is one of them. We are not in control. So what do you do with something that you are not in control? You can only adjust and accept, and you are living. You are not dead. You have to keep moving on. We are not saying that you forget about your father. What is it that you can do in memory of your father? What is it that you can cherish? What is it that is in your heart that you can control? So that you're able to live and leave those things that you cannot control. That's how I would put it. Yes.
And also to add on that, apart from the information now that you get now from the maybe a counseling or a therapist, I'd like to let people know that the only way out is through. You'll have to feel that uncomfortable emotion for you to get out on the other side. I am so sure everyone who has lost someone, or someone who is going through a traumatic experience, any distress that they are in, there is that feeling that I don't want to feel like this. I want to be happy. Mostly they normally say, I want to be happy. I want to be okay. I don't want to feel like this. The only way to be okay or feel better is to actually allow yourself to feel those uncomfortable emotions. It is scary because, of course, it's overwhelming. They are big emotions that maybe you cannot even hold. Like, they are big. Yeah. It is scary. But the only way through is to go through them, to allow yourself to actually be broken, allow yourself to feel bad, allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to scream. Then when you're done, you will actually feel better. That is the only way. There is no any other way.
And you see, that is the difficult part about it.
Yes.
Because as human beings, I think we're wired to want to feel good all the time. True. I want to smile. No one wants to cry.
True.
And you see, it's even more difficult when, especially in a position where you've lost your loved one, and you experience a situation where someone who's you consider to be a hero. I'll give you an example of my dad. When my brother passed on, I couldn't deal with the fact that I was sitting at the balcony with my old man and I would see him break down, because for me that messed me up. Because at that point, I was looking up to him, but he's been that guy for me. But at this point, I understand what is going on, and perhaps I have to be there for him. But him being a man, they would not let their child again to step in and try advice. And you see, you look at this situation and we don't know what to do. You don't know where to go, Later, we talked about it, capish, but not everyone is, first of all, willing to break down where they are seen. So you deal with them in your bedroom when you're there, you're crying, and that's it. But you've not dealt with what is deep down. So then how do we bring this conversation to the open to make it easier for everyone? If you want to break down. If you want to scream, you scream. But most importantly is that you seek professional help to deal with the problem, because that's where the disconnect is. We don't want to talk about it.
I think we can normalize what we call expressing our feelings. Normalization. Like when you come for therapy, the first thing I'll do is to normalize what you're feeling. And telling you, given myself in the same situation, I could even be worse. And it is normal not to be okay. It is normal to feel the way you are feeling, given the situation that you have gone through. Anyone who is normal could be feeling even worse than what you're feeling. And I've seen when you tell people that it's normal, they start expressing themselves. So we must look into ways of normalizing that expressing your feelings is not a weakness, especially to our men. It is not a weakness. Actually, it is the beginning of the journey of healing.
Into strength.
Yes.
How do you normalize something like that? Because, and I often say that we have a lot of us walking through this existence as basket cases, and we don't know. It's not necessarily that somebody's gone crazy, like cuckoo walking in the street, stripped of your clothes, but we've got a lot of basket case situation because of this thing that you're talking about. And so this is why we can't perform at work. This is why we cannot perform at school. We have a diseased society. Lack of ease is bothering us. We don't talk about issues. We don't confront issues. If I have an issue with Dennis, what am I going to do? I'm going to ignore him. I'm not going to talk to him. I'll talk to Evelyn, and I see him, I walk past him. I'm not going to have a conversation with him. That thing continues to fester and fester and fester. But the only way, God, you're preaching to the choir. The only way through it, the only way to fix it is to go through it. You have to go through it. I have to have a conversation with you, go through the uncomfortability of it. Let's duke it out and say, you hurt me, I hurt you. Let's figure it out. That's the only way to deal with it. Otherwise, we'll be ignoring each other here. We won't be. And then our work suffers. Our friendship suffers. We don't deal with the issues. This is a replication of what we see through society, and then we wonder why things are going wrong for us, and they're not working for us. But we've normalized not having the conversation. We've normalized you're upset over something, so the best thing for you to do is give me the silent treatment, which, if you ask me, is a form of abuse. I could go on for hours, but this is what we're dealing with, isn't it? So how do we normalize things that have been abnormal for forever?
That's a really good question. I think we should start with ourselves. We should not actually go outside. We should start with ourselves. You personally, when you go through things in your life, let's say you have goals, you had a to-do list today, let's break it down. You have a to-do list today that you have not done. And at the end of the day, what are you telling yourself? Are you cussing yourself out? Are you getting mad at yourself and all that? How you handle yourself, it's going to help with how you handle other people. So you have to start with yourself. Normalize feeling bad, normalize feeling happy, normalize feeling any emotion that you have. Start by expressing these emotions to yourself. I know people will feel like, oh, this is crazy and all that. No, it is not crazy. This is why we are normalizing it. You need to have conversations with yourself, the hard conversations. Once you are comfortable with having hard conversations with yourself, it's going to be easy for you to have conversations with another person. So if everyone is doing that for themselves, it's going to be easier outside, in groups, friendships, family, at home, at work. So you have to start with yourself to make it easier outside in our society.